Sasha Martinengo.
Storming down the pit lane.
Weekdays from 12 to 2 p.m. Central African Time on bulls.co.za.
Because yesterday was another spectacular Formula One Grand Prix, German Grand Prix, and no luck.
And a very entertaining Grand Prix.
It was.
Full of action.
It was. Let's try that again. Yeah, it was. It was a terrific Grand Prix, and of course back to back, because this weekend we got the Hungarian Grand Prix as well, which is going to be equally as fun. So looking forward to that as well. Trying to get hold of Gary. If we don't get hold of Gary, then I'll just carry on regardless and talk about yesterday's race. Oh, there we go. It's ringing now. Let's see if he answers. Come on, Gary.
Hello?
Gary Formato! How are you, my brother?
All right, and you?
I'm okay. She's been battling to get hold of you, bud.
Yeah, I know.
You're out and about, eh? Busy guy.
I am. You know, a man's got to work as well, so unfortunately, yeah, it's been one of those days.
Yeah, well, you know what? I'm still waiting to get a real job, eh?
Hey, lucky you. Lucky you.
Gary, yesterday, German Grand Prix. There are not enough superlatives in the world to describe how good Fernando Alonso is.
You know, this year, I think it's got to be one of his best seasons he ever had in Formula One. You know, yes, he beat Michael Schumacher to 2 world titles, but you know, people would say, well, he had Michelin tires in those days, and the Renault had a couple of things that were possibly, you know, not allowed or whatever at the time. But right now, the man can't put a foot wrong. I mean, the call he made on Saturday in qualifying, him and the team, you've got to say, was a great call. Got him into pole and set the weekend up. It was unbelievable.
It was a brilliant performance by Alonso. I mean, we'll talk a little bit about the race, but there's been a lot of controversy about Vettel and Button. Sebastian Vettel finished second on the track, but of course got demoted 20-second penalty for the overtaking move on Jenson Button in the hairpin. And there are quite a few people coming out, Gary, saying a little bit unfair, the penalty's too harsh. What's your take on it?
No, look, I think I expect way, and because it was the end of the race, he didn't receive a drive-through. I mean, it was as clear as daylight that he knew exactly where Jenson Button was. If you look at the overhead shot, at the apex of the corner, Jenson Button is in fact ahead of Sebastian Vettel, although Sebastian Vettel was quick on the brake. So he knew exactly where Jenson Button was. He basically straightened up the car, utilised you know, the pavement, if you like, to get traction out of the corner. Jenson Button was still in a turn and wasn't going to get the traction. If you'd been in Monaco or a circuit where there were Armco barriers and what have you there, the move would never have happened. Vettel would never have got past. So, yes, he got an unfair advantage by using what was not the racetrack.
Yeah, there we go. I think that that is the best explanation you will get on it. 100% correct. 20-second penalty for Vettel. Button inherits the second place. Kimi Räikkönen will be delighted because he gets third place and he didn't have to do the interviews.
Well, isn't it a bit, the interviews I've spoken to a lot of people say, well, they like him. I'm not a big fan. I think it could be far more professional. I don't think Niki Lauda was any good at it yesterday. But, you know, I think Kimi big in third place. I mean, his championship is looking pretty good now. I think up into fourth place in the standings. So, you know, the Kimi and the Lotus are also just plugging away at it and keeping themselves in the game.
Yeah, he definitely is. I mean, I think he's on 95 points. He's not far off the likes of Fernando Alonso. Gary, but yesterday we saw sort of a teammate sort of battle that went on where one did gloriously well and the other one sort of fell off. We saw it with Vettel and Webber. Webber was nowhere. Alonso and Massa. We saw it with Schumacher and, well, Rosberg came back a bit, but nothing spectacular. And we saw it with Button and Hamilton. What happened to Lewis Hamilton yesterday? And have you ever heard him, the way that he spoke on the pit commentary yesterday, saying, "Oh, we need to retire the car"? I was shocked.
Yeah, and you said it in a far more exciting way than he said it yesterday. I mean, you could hear he was totally dejected when he said, "Should we just retire?" Or, "I think we should retire." You know, it's not the kind of fighting talk that you want from a potential world champion. You've got to stay out of there. You don't know what's going to happen in Grand Prix. That could have rained later on. He could have put himself in a very good position had the car lost in. So you cannot give up. So yes, it is strange to hear those sort of comments in the way that they were said from Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah, very, very peculiar. Jenson Button had a good bounce back, Gary, and we always know that if Jenson is driving well, and no disrespect to him, I mean, he's a world champion, but if Jenson is driving well and the car's working well, you know that McLaren is really good.
That's right. And, Jensen, we've seen that looks after the tyres, can get the car to end the race. Although he was pushing hard to get past Vettel and trying to catch Alonso. I think they were racing for the win. But he as well. I think his confidence really took a hiding the last couple of races, wasn't qualifying well, couldn't turn the tyres on. So a lot of head scratching, just wondering why he couldn't get to grips with the car and find the pace from the tyres. It worked out for him yesterday, and I think, it's exactly what he needed. And we can certainly see, I think, from here on in, an upswing in him and the team's performance.
Yeah, I agree. Two drivers who really were disappointing yesterday, Felipe Massa and Romain Grosjean. I mean, I speak very highly of the young guy, but he had a miserable one yesterday.
Yeah, Grosjean unfortunately has the ability to get involved in incidents on the first lap like nobody else.
Yeah.
It's been like that the entire season. I don't think it was his fault yesterday. However, he still found the incident. And he is quick. I certainly think he's one of the guys that we're going to look out for in the future. He certainly deserves a spot to one of the top teams. But he's just got to get through the first couple of laps cleanly, and it's important. Massa, on the other end, also took his front wing off. And, well, I feel for Massa. I really feel sorry for him. I mean, he's probably the driver under the most pressure in that paddock right now.
Yeah.
You're in Ferrari. It's a high-profile team, and everybody's talking about how you've had your time, you've done, and everyone's looking for a replacement. So he's working under extreme pressure at the moment. So you've got to feel for the guy.
Yeah, I must say I do feel I feel for Felipe Massa. I think his days are numbered. I mean, I just wrote an article on who I'd replace him with, which is a little bit harsh as well.
Who did you replace him with?
I replaced him with Heikki Kovalainen.
Interesting one.
Yeah, well, I think we'll discuss that another time. But I've got my methodologies around it as well, so it's quite interesting. Yesterday, Gary, there was a lot of controversy before the start of the race, and I've had quite a few tweets, quite a few emails asking me what is the, even Dai, who's sitting over here, was asking me what was the deal with Red Bull and their technical issue when it came to their revs weren't the same as what had been in the past.
Well, look, I mean, basically, Sasha, the way I'm seeing it, and I'll talk from a very simple point of view, because I'm not a technical guy, but the way I understand it is that if you keep the throttle open under deceleration or whatever it may be, you are creating airflow over the diffuser. We know the last year we had blown diffusers, which we could all hear the cars, going to the corners, sounded pretty strange, like they were misfiring to some degree. That was when the throttles were being left open and you had this blown diffuser is working. So it would imply that they were trying to generate some downforce by, keeping the throttle open, and it was different, and it is in contravention of the law, which said it shouldn't be like that. So, yes, I think they were certainly looking for something. The FIA, I think, will have to go into the need to clarify it a little bit further, because on the plus side, these technicians and the engineers in Formula never stop looking for things, and it's amazing what they can find and pull out of the hat. But if it is in contravention, well, then the cars are wrong. They haven't lost anything for it, so they could come back to the next Grand Prix within the regulation, and so I don't think it's going to be a major problem for Red Bull. Either way, the FIA look at it.
Yeah, no, I think that we'll get a clarification, but probably this week, most probably before the Hungarian Grand Prix as well. I don't think it's going to go away too quickly. Gary, the Mercedes team, I mean, we speak about it regularly. Schumacher was sublime in qualifying, really did an outstanding job in the wet to get that car up there. But in race pace, we say it week in and week out when there's a Formula One Grand Prix, they just are not fast enough.
Well, they're not. In the dry conditions, the car doesn't work. And I think a lot of the qualifying position was down to Michael Schumacher and putting in the lap when the conditions were really bad. I mean, managed to scrape through into Q3, and when it mattered on the full wets, put a great time in there. And we've seen this time and time again with Mercedes and Schumacher. When the conditions are inclement, he can perform. He can really drag something out of the car. In the dry conditions, you need it to be working perfectly. And, of course, we notice that it just does not, it isn't the case.
Yeah, very, very difficult. All in all, Gary, another outstanding Formula One Grand Prix. Alonso got a little bit of a better cushion now in the Drivers' Championship. He'll most probably be quite happy that Vettel lost a couple of extra points.
Yeah, I think he would be pretty happy with that, no doubt about it. And Vettel is one of his main contenders, certainly, and of course Lewis Hamilton. So I think a 35-point lead now in the championship, and he's starting to look good. I mean, that's one Grand Prix in hand. It's something we wouldn't have expected at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, no, we wouldn't have, but the guy's driving his wheels off. We're looking forward to this weekend in Hungary, Gary. This is the one Grand Prix, I suppose, besides Monaco, where qualifying is going to be vital.
It is. I mean, Hungary, you could describe it as basically Monaco without the Armcos being as close to the track as they are in Monaco. So, yes, qualifying is critical here. Also, a very, very hot Grand Prix. Tyre wear is going to be a big issue, as it always is right now in Formula 1. But, Hungary can be a boring race because of those factors. But this year with the Pirelli tyres, I think we may see something different. We saw a great one in Valencia. We could have another special one in Hungary.
Yeah, it is good. And then we're going to have a 4-week break of, terribleness. We're going to have to all get used to it. Gary has
time on the weekends.
Yeah, no, exactly. We'll have weekends. We won't know what to do with them. It'll be quite a lot of fun. Listen, my friend, always good to speak to you, and we'll catch up with you. I'm sure we'll talk about Hungary later on in the week as well.
Great stuff, guys. Thanks very much.
All right, cheers, man. There we go. Gary Formato talking to us about yesterday's German Grand Prix. We'll hopefully chat to him on Friday as we look forward to this weekend's Hungarian Grand Prix.
Gears on bulls.co.za with Sasha Martinengo.
He's kept himself out of trouble.
Weekdays from 12 to 2 p.m. Central African Time.